Long ago, in a red-earth village called Loco, there lived a kind and gentle girl named Arike. Her smile could melt the morning sun, and her heart was as pure as the village stream. But deep inside, she carried dreams she did not understand, dreams of a snake calling her name. The sister's secret wish. Arike had a sister named Anike, also kind and beautiful. But envy is a quiet fire. Though Anike smiled at her sister, in her heart she wished that Arike would be lost in the forest and never return. The strange dream. Each night, Arike dreamed she was a snake, gliding through rivers of light. When she woke, she told herself, it is only a dream. But the forest spirits were already watching. The fisherman's catch. One day, a fisherman named Amu cast his net into the sea. He expected fish, but what he pulled from the waves was a young girl, cold and lifeless. He carried her carefully to the village. The girl called Abeo. When the girl awoke, she said her name was Abeo. She spoke of a snake girl who saved her from monsters in the river. The villagers gasped, but Arike stood in silence, her heart pounding. The mirror of truth. That night, Arike looked into her water bowl. Her reflection shimmered, and she saw golden eyes, silver scales, and the face of a snake staring back. Fear filled her chest. That is me, she whispered. The forest of serpents. At dawn, the villagers took torches and went hunting for the snake girl. But the forest was alive. Snakes of every color slithered across their path, and the people fled in terror. The bite and the change. Alone in the forest, Arike ran until a snake bit her ankle. The pain was fire, burning, glowing. Her body shimmered, her voice turned to hiss, and she became the snake girl at last. The voice of the serpents. Around her, the snakes gathered and spoke in voices older than time. Arike, they said, you must find your real mother. Only she knows who you truly are. And the forest fell silent again. The blood and the silence. By morning, the villagers returned and found only Arike's clothes, torn and stained with blood. They thought the snake girl had taken her forever. That night, no drums were played in Loco. Only the sound of wind and fear filled the air. The search for Arike. When the villagers returned from the forest, they told everyone that Arike was still missing. Men and women gathered, their faces filled with fear. Then, as they entered the forest again, they found her clothes lying on the ground, torn, soaked in blood, and silent as death. The snake girl appears. That night, snakes filled the village. Their scales shimmered under the moonlight, their tongues flicking like fire. And from the shadows came a girl, half human, half snake. The villagers gasped. She looked exactly like Arike. The saying comes true. The elders whispered among themselves. They remembered an old saying, one day, the girl will return to avenge her family's blood. And truly, the snake girl was Arike herself, come back in a form no one could understand. Arike's return. Arike returned to the village, not as a spirit, but as herself, gentle and calm. The people were afraid, wondering who the real snake girl was. When Arike touched the snake girl's forehead, the creature turned into a human before their eyes. The crowd gasped. Some fell to the ground, others ran in fear. Driven away. Instead of thanking her, the villagers shouted, "Witch! Witch!" They caught both Arike and the girl and forced them to leave the village. Tears streamed down Arike's face. She had saved her people, yet they turned against her. The snake's revenge. The next morning, the sun rose red as blood. From the forest came a storm of snakes, hissing and striking at everything in sight. The village cried for mercy. One of the snakes took human form and said, "Where is Arike? We only seek Arike." But she was gone. Arike's wrath. Far away, Arike heard their cries. Her heart burned with sorrow and anger. In that moment, she embraced her true form, her eyes glowed gold, and her voice turned into thunder. Arike, the snake girl, had returned, not to harm, but to bring balance to her destiny. The sister's choice. Anike, filled with regret, left the village behind. She walked deep into the forest until she found Arike. There, the two sisters embraced, one human, one serpent, and from that day, they lived together as sisters once more. The newborn baby. Years passed, and peace returned. Then one day, a woman gave birth to twin babies. But one baby bore a small mark, the sign of a snake on her forehead. The elder said, "This child is blessed, born of the spirit of Arike and Anike." And so, the child was treated like a princess. The spirit child's warning. One day, by the lake, Arike met a glowing spirit girl. The spirit said, "I am Abeo, the one you saved before. Beware, the circle of destiny will return. The river will call again, and the story will begin anew." The wind carried her voice away, and Arike stood alone, knowing her tale would live forever. Narrator's closing. And that, my children, is the story of Arike, the snake girl. The one who was both human and spirit, kindness and power. Her name is still whispered whenever the wind passes through the forest of Loco.